Erik, we often hear about how missed shots and then the defense goes also, but this seemed to be a case where they were sort of happening simultaneously, where the defense wasn't there even when you were making shots. How did it go so south, so combined, so quickly?
Yeah, I don't have that answer fully, right now. Portland definitely set the tenet of the game, just how aggressively they were attacking us off the dribble, attacking the paint, attacking the drives, offense rebounding. We're often, from those drives. We just never really got a handle on the driving game until, that, last, whatever desperation, effort we were making the last 7 minutes of the game. We finally got some contained drives at that point, but you do have to credit them. They were downhill the entire night, whether we were in the man or zone.
The fact that they only had 3 turnovers to the first 3 quarters, is that a sign of the selectivity level?
For sure. We mentioned that at halftime. We didn't force 1 turnover. We had 0 turnovers, a ton of drives. In transition, just attacking the half court versus our man or zone. We're at our best when we're disruptive. Again, you don't need analytics to know when we're at our best. You can see it, you can feel it, you get inspired by it, and through 3 quarters, that wasn't it.
Coach, obviously, I know it's a loss here, but can you just kind of talk about Kel'el in the start today? Obviously, the narrative by him being alongside Bam, but having a good double-double tonight.
Yeah, the rebounding, he did some really good things defensively at the rim. He'll continue to get better, when to go, when not to go, when to wall up. If a guy catches it in the paint, those things he'll get better. But, the upside obviously is very encouraging, and that's why, he's in the starting lineup right now. We just frankly need to get him in there for more minutes, whether it was off the bench or starting. It's an easier way to make that happen.
I know you go with who you have, but how do you think the offense, since it was the first time this season without Tyler?
That is really tough to evaluate. Without Tyler, and just our overall intentionality was not at its highest level.
Typically in cases like this, there'll be times when someone is down and your leading man will take over and do a little bit more. Jimmy's effort tonight seemed a bit languid. He wasn't there on the floor at the finish. How are you working through this level of Jimmy that you've gotten since his return?
It is. I know what you're trying to get out of me. You're not going to get anything worthwhile. It was not a very inspiring, first 3 quarters, by the whole group. So it's tough to pinpoint one person in that. I was subbing, getting it deeper into the rotation. Just nothing really seemed to take hold until we got to that last group. That was probably the most inspiring group, and I believe Pell got that steal. That was an opportunity to get it to 5, and that was finally the building was moving and shaking a little bit, and that was because of what the guys were doing on the floor.
Is it frustrating when the team gets into those early holes and they're struggling to find its rhythm, or do you have?
No, it's basketball. Look, you're not always going to get off to a great start. It's 48 minutes. You got to try to take control of the game. You got to try to set the tone. You got to try to play consistently throughout. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. It's who can impose their will longer than the other team. All right, thank you.